Welcome to the next video in this series. The concept of Shruthi is vitally important in Indian classical music, and in today's video I will clarify some of the more complicated aspects of Shruthi. Firstly, what exactly is Shruthi? How do we find out what someone's Shruthi is? Sometimes we hear singers saying, my Shruthi is 1.5 kate. What does that mean? Secondly, there are aspects of Shruthi, like some people say there are 12 Shrutis, some people say there are 22 Shrutis. So how many Shrutis are there exactly? And thirdly, sometimes in talent shows, for example, we hear judges saying, oh, your song was very good, but there are aspects of the song not fully matching up with the Shruti. So what exactly do they mean by that? So we will attempt to clarify these aspects in this video. In practical terms, Shruti is the foundational pitch or the note which the singer can use as his shadjan or his sa, and from there he can build the rest of the scale. Usually a singer will choose a note as his Shruti, from where he can easily sing an octave higher and a few notes above that and 3 to 4 notes below, so that the whole composition can be sung quite comfortably. So now comes the next question. How many Shrutis are there? Is it 12? Is it 22? So if you recollect, in my very first video itself I had talked about the 12 note positions. In a much later video, I think it was number 15, we talked about the Shodashaswaras, or the 16 names which we give to these 12 notes. So do refer back to those videos if you wish. But essentially, if you have these 12 notes in an octave which you can play, that would form the essence or the main 12 Shrutis which you would play. In Indian classical music, particularly Hindustani music, the concept of 22 Shrutis is well defined. So we have Sa, we have Pa, which are the fixed notes, and then we have Re, Ga, Ma, Dha and Ni. All of those 5 notes have got a small note and a bigger note. In Hindustani, we call the small notes Komal notes, the bigger notes as Shuddha notes. So straight away we have 5, and we have got 2 components each. But each of these components again function as a frequency range. So we can actually tease out 4 specific pitches or 4 specific frequencies within each of these notes. So that makes 5 notes times 4, 20. Plus the Sa and the Pa makes it 22. In Western music, intervals smaller than a semitone are called microtones often, and styles like blues and jazz rock music tend to use these microtones quite often. Apparently there are some guitars which are specifically tuned to play up to 31 or even 62 tones. Although we have talked about microtones and 22 Shrutis, for most practical purposes, knowledge of the 12 notes is sufficient. In Indian classical music, the best instrument for giving us the Shruti is the tambura. But we also got electronic Shruti boxes, and we also got apps. In most electronic Shruti boxes or even tambura, you'll hear like a mixture of sounds, not like a pure note, because we are hearing the Sa, or the shadjan, the Pa, and the top Sa, which is played twice. So Sa, Pa, and the top Sa twice. Okay, so now I'm going to show you 2 very helpful apps which will help in understanding and practicing Shruti. The first one is iShruti, where you can play any of the Shrutis you want. So this is C, C sharp, like that. Any of the 12 Shrutis is available. We also got a very helpful app called INS Tuner. You can see it will allow you to play an instrument or sing a tune, and it will tell you the Shruti or the pitch you are singing it in. You can see that the needle is going straight to the C, giving a green signal. So you can practice your singing as well like that. The one other aspect I wanted to tell you was the concept of kattai, or sometimes people say I sing in one kattai, 1.5 kattai, etc. Now, kattai is a term which is used in South Indian music. So all it means is that if someone is singing in, or if someone's pitch or shruti is C, we call that one kattai. Okay, so this would be 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and 7. So usually these are the 7 kattais. Now, sometimes in talent shows you hear judges passing the comments that parts of the song didn't match with the shruti. So what exactly do they mean by that? I think I will demonstrate using a simple song. Let's take the song Chandare Chandare, which most of us are familiar with. So Pa or G is the scale or the pitch which I think the original song was sung in. So if the instruments are all tuned in that pitch, and if you want to sing Chandare Chandare na 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 na, so you might want to sing that in that pitch, but let's say on a day you don't feel up to singing on that pitch, you should actually sing in a different shruti. Chandare Chandare kabhi to zami par aa. So you can see that it's a completely different shruti, and it will not match with the tune or the pitch which is played by the instrumentalist. So it will look quite awkward, sound quite awkward. The other aspect in reality shows or talent shows is when we actually sing and there are phrases within the song, and each of these phrases, you must remember, are made up of notes. So if you actually don't hit the notes correctly, it will sound flat sometimes. And the very final aspect about Indian classical music particularly is that sometimes we deliberately flatten some notes in some ragas to bring out more flavor. So if you're purely tuned to hearing Western classical music, sometimes you might find that some songs are slightly off tune, but it's not the case. So that in a nutshell is about Shruti. I hope it has been useful. Obviously, I haven't been able to cover all aspects of Shruti in this video. So if you have any comments, use the comment box below to comment. I hope I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.